Hello, everyone. In this section, we will be discussing the embargo and lease functions that are available within the Hyku system. So, as with general usage, an embargo refers to a work that is not available until a specific time, while a lease is a file or a work that is available only for a specific time. And so as you upload works, assuming you have permissions, Hyku enables you to set those on a work by work basis and to customize those during the process of adding the work. This is determined. So on a work by work basis, assuming that these are all enabled, the person depositing the work can create those settings or establish those settings as they want. On a tenant by tenant basis, or as an administrator, you can turn off this function entirely or allow only one or the other. And the way that that's managed is not necessarily universally, but on an admin set by admin set basis. So by default, all tenants come with a default admin set, which governs the rules of works that are deposited through it. And if you want to, you can create additional admin sets so that some users would be able to use embargoes and leases and other sorts wouldn't. So you have a lot of options to manage that. For more details, look at our admin set tutorial video. But admin sets are found through collections, and because the default admin set is created upon system creation and not by you, even if you're an administrator, you have to toggle over to all collections, find the default admin set, and edit it. And there's a release and visibility section, and here's where you can determine whether embargoes and leases are allowed, if depositors are allowed to choose settings, and if so, can they choose any embargo length and have leases allowed? Can they choose to embargo up to a certain date? Or can they choose to embargo up to a certain date relative to the deposit? So this one would allow you to put in a kind of a hard-coded date that you would then need to go and modify as your conditions change. In the future, you can also force depositors to choose embargoes if you don't want things from contributors going live immediately. So we will allow depositors to choose all things. So I don't need to save because that was actually the setup starting out. Here, I will actually show you. No, I'll just add a new work. So if we add a new work, there are a few things that we are required to do. We have to assign a name, a creator, at least one keyword, and a right statement. All other metadata fields are optional. We have to assign at least one file to it. In the relationships section, we can add it to any number of collections that we have set up, but it has to be assigned to an admin set. And we only have the one, which is the default admin set, which does allow for embargoes and leases. And then we have to, well, we don't have to. By default, it's set to private. And if we don't change it, that's the level of visibility it will be set with when we publish. But we have options to either make it institutional so that only registered users with this Hyku Commons tenant would be able to access it, make it public so that all public users, even if they're not logged in, can see it. Or we can set embargoes and leases. So embargo, set date for future release, and we can actually, in the meantime, until it is public, we can set it to private or we can set it to institutional. So both of those options exist. Also, we can set it to private and then after a certain date, make it institutional visibility. So all of those various general options are configurable within the embargo. And here's where you can set the date for that to go visible. And then same thing with the lease, you can set it to reduce access in the future. So you could set it to either public or institutional visibility today, and then determine that, say a year from now, it will then go to institutional only or to private only. So you can set that up. So I will embargo this. So it will not show up until a week from today. I will publish. So to manage embargoes and leases as the administrator, I should mention that as the user, I've just deposited a work. I could go in, and I'll show this off actually. Well, I'll show off the administrator function first and then go back to the user so it has some time to process that. So under tasks, you have a manage embargoes and manage leases button. So you can see that we have technically 2 current embargoes, and these are actually the same thing. This is the file I attached. You can see that this is the release date. Visibility will change to institutional starting on 15th of February, 2022. And that's the work and the file. And in here you can see, well, if we had expired embargoes, and we do have deactivated embargoes, here there's just a record of what has happened in the past. But to manage this, this would take me to this work, or actually to a management page for this work. And so I, as the administrator, could say, no, that should actually be public after that time, not institutional, so I can update it. I can also deactivate it, which will just assign it to the level of visibility it has currently. I can return to the edit page for the work and make changes in here. Or if I just cancel, it'll take me back to the embargo management page. I didn't change anything there. And so if you go to file, you'll see that you can actually, when you add a work to Hyku, you do not have the option initially to upload metadata only, but no file. It requires a file. But files and the works are managed separately by the system. So you could, through embargo management, set a file to become private after a certain amount of time, but retain the descriptive metadata around that work. You also, this is a bit of a side note, so this isn't directly, or this isn't only in the context of embargoes and leases, but you can upload a work and then immediately go back to that work and delete the file that's attached to it. And then you're left with just the metadata record. And so that's kind of a workaround for the fact that Hyku does require you initially to upload a file, but it does not have to remain associated with the work. And that's the language that Hyku consistently uses. The work is the metadata record together with the file, whereas the file is its own separate thing. So I'll pull up an example here. So this is the work page for this image. And then down here, we have this file, and we can edit the file or delete the file separately and just leave the metadata record. And embargoes and leases, after the work has initially been deposited, so when you're in this management page, can be treated separately then. But when you initially upload a work or deposit a work, in the same way that Hyku insists that you have a file to have the description, it will treat whatever you set for the embargo or the lease at both the work and the file level, which can then be managed separately. And then finally, I will demonstrate, you can see that this has an embargo visibility, which actually sort of overwrites the fact that this has currently a public visibility, but also is embargoed. And after a certain amount of time on the 15th, so 2 weeks from now, will change to a institutional visibility. But the fact that there's an embargo overrides that on this visualization. But also, as the person who uploaded it, I don't have to, or as an administrator, honestly, but so if I go here, I can change some aspects of the visibility. So I can say what will happen to it, or even what it is now. I can change it from private, and I can change the date that institutes, but I can't simply, from the user's perspective, when I'm editing the work, I can't simply disregard the embargo and change it to a permanently public or permanently private visibility. I can only modify the terms of the embargo itself. If I wanted to completely get rid of that embargo, as the administrator, I have to go to manage embargoes, to the work, and I can deactivate it with this red button. And so I'll go ahead and do that for visualization's sake. And now it's asking, now you just changed the work. There's a file that is part of this work. Do you want to apply this deactivation to that as well? And I can say, no, I'll update it manually, or yes, please. I'll say, yes, please. So we have just completely eliminated the embargo on here, and it is now set to private unless we take some other action to make it public or institutional visibility again. And for all of those things, leases work just the same way, with the exception that you are decreasing the visibility after some predetermined amount of time rather than increasing it. And those can all be managed under manage leases here. And it works in precisely the same way. So does anyone have questions about how to use embargoes and leases in Hyku?
Hi, it's John again. I just wanted to clarify. So you said the user can go in and they can't completely remove the embargo, but they can change certain parameters of it. Can they change the date, extend the embargo without any approval from an admin?
I will have to test to see if a user who's not an administrator can do that. But my hunch is yes, and that does seem like an issue. But I'll have to test that because I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, thanks.
And there's a question in the chat. Can we turn off lease as a visibility but keep embargo? I can't see a use for leases in an IR of research works. It might even confuse researchers. As far as I know, we could submit that as a request to kind of separate the two.
No, I believe that we can. Let me pull up admin set. But I believe that's one of the standard options for
and Sherry, by turn off, did you mean kind of disable it as an option, or like turn off the lease itself? Disable it as an option. Okay.
So that's this second option. If you simply don't put a date in there, then that leaves embargoes open-ended, but leases are not allowed. So I'll save that. Upload a work.
Oh, I see. So it's at the admin set level that you make those determinations.
Yes, although that did not work. So let me double check let me double check my work there. Let's see, depositor. Gives me a date is required. So you cannot set just an open-ended embargo date. So simple workaround, I would think. Let's just, for demonstration purposes, allow it up to 3 years after deposit. So this allows users to choose an embargo. They can set it up to 3 years, which to me seems like a workable amount of time, but I could be. So yeah, there you see leases disabled and embargoes can be set up to 2025, and it won't allow me to go beyond that. So I suspect that if you go in and set in fact, I'll test this, but see if you can set a date, if you, for some reason, 3 years is not functional within your institution, they need to have longer embargoes than that. See if we can choose this, and let's make this 2055. See if the system has any problems with that. It doesn't seem to. So you can set that to just an arbitrarily far date in the future. And then you have enabled embargoes. They can pick basically any date that they want, not allowed to select a lease. So yeah, that is how you would turn that off. You just have to provide some sort of arbitrary embargo endpoint.
I have a quick question, Nick. So in the case where a work is not embargoed, but a file is there any indication given to a not logged in user that there's a file there that will be released in the future, or is it just not there? And if you haven't done that, that's fine.
Yeah, when you delete a file or have it set to a level of visibility different from the work, which I can demonstrate that real quick. Should ask if I want to apply that to the work or to the file as well. I'll say I'll update it manually. Yeah.
I think I've seen in other repositories, we'll come to a record and it will say this work or this file is scheduled to be publicly available in such and such date.
So it looks like what it does is it gives you the work and then tells you that there is a file, but doesn't allow you to see the thumbnail or access it. And if you try to access the file, then it tells you you're not authorized and to log in. So you get sort of a dummy work here, or yeah, dummy description here, but you would have more detailed metadata actually saying what this file is, what it is, not just demo, but it'll have this sort of placeholder thumbnail, tell you that it's private and not allow you any actions. And if you try to access it, prompt you to log in if you want to. Which is different than what happens if you simply delete this file. If you do that, you still get the generic placeholder image, but then there's just nothing under items. Does that make sense?
My internet died for a moment, but I think so, yes. Does anyone else have any questions about embargoes or leases? Okay, hearing none, I'll go ahead and wrap up this recording.